Hey guys, Character here with another review. This time I'll be reviewing the WAP 11 Kamen Rider Wizard Infinity style from Kamen Rider Wizard. This is the 11th entry in the Wizard Action Police series, and is Kamen Rider Wizard's final form. So this includes a few things: Kamen Rider Wizard Infinity style, the Wizard Sword Gun in gun mode and sword mode, and the axe caliber. So let's take a look at the figure. So with this is a completely new mold, completely new base. So this is different from any of his previous forms. Starting with the head, with Infinity style he's based off a diamond. So that's the kind of shape you have here. Got a lot of cuts in the top, along with these various kind of spikes sticking out that make it look like a crown. You can see that, once again, like with the earlier figures, this is made of a clear plastic, and this time it's a little bit foggier, so that it really does look like a gemstone. You've got the fasteners to form the eyes, and then the part at the bottom to form the chin. For the chest plate, you can see that it's got a basically silver underpaint, or silver undercoat, and on top is the same kind of clear light blue plastic, which creates a very nice effect. You've got a very pale metallic blue paint for the shoulders, the cuffs, the kind of gems on the sides, and the knee pads and anklets. You can see he has a brooch designed after the Wizard Dragon, and now has gauntlets, or gauntlet armor, instead of just shin armor. The Wizard Driver is again the same, though this time the Wizard Ring holder is painted in black. And that way it lets him kind of distinguish the buckle from the belt. And it's also because the base suit, or the base body, is black plastic. And you can see that with this, one of the major upgrades in terms of the design is adding gems to more parts of the body, with gems embroidered on the lower coat, the anklets or the wrist cuffs, and the anklets, along with the knee pads. You've got the inner cape piece, which is done up in a kind of a shiny gray plastic, and then the outer part is coated in metallic silver paint, which creates a very nice effect. And overall, it's just got a very nice look to it, although the one part where it is missing some paint would be the back, where you can see that there is a battery cover and a basically tab hole where there was a tab slot in, and that's because this does return to the light up gimmick of the original 4 styles, or if you actually press down this button here in the middle of the chest, it illuminates the head. And this works a lot better with Infinity style than with Flame, Water, Hurricane, and Land, because they managed to make it thicker, and so you can better see the details while still having it illuminated. And it also helps to bring out that color, so it does look very nice. For the articulation, it is pretty standard, but there is a bit of improvement over the past figures. Got a ball joint for the head, which basically the way the light up gimmick works is that on the ball joint is the LED itself. So when you press down the button, it illuminates the head no matter which way you have it looking. The arms are a major area of improvement because they still have that 360 rotation at the shoulder, and the arms move in and out at the shoulder. But you've also got the improved shoulder pads, where these are shoulder pads that are attached directly to the shoulders on a hinge so that they move up and down with the shoulders. Actually works quite well. You have your standard bicep tool, and a nice thing is that because there are no details or lines on it, nothing gets broken up. The single jointed elbows, full wrist swivel, two joints for the fingers. And just gonna point out that, like with the others, it does have a unique ring to it. This one does have the Infinity Wizard ring Muladon. A full waist rotation. Legs go forward and back, in and out. And with this, it seems that they made the cape piece a lot looser than the others. So it gives you a little bit more room to actually use legs. As you can see, I can move the leg all the way out here. It doesn't feel like it's straining the coat much. You've got a single joint knee, thigh rotation, and ball joint ankles. Looking at the weapons, first of course you have the standard wizard sword gun in the gun mode and sword mode, which are both in the open position and done up in a clear light blue to match with the coloring. That being said, these really aren't of much use compared to the Excalibur, which is what Infinity Style uses most of the time. So, this is done in the same base black color as the figure, but once again there are a lot of molded in details. Starting from the top, you can see the dragon's neck and head extending up to here, the wings that become the axe blade, with the actual outer blade painted in metallic red, the hand for activating his finisher attack, and then the caliber blade, which is essentially the dragon's tail. Then on the back, you've got the design here of Wizard's symbol, and the details from the front are continued. Now this he can hold it in two ways. First is the caliber mode, in which he holds it by this lower handle, but then with his articulation you can also use it for mimicking his turn on, where he activates the axe mode. And so to do that, you have to have him hold it by here, and also by here. So something like that. And from there, you can then switch it over to the axe mode. Just like so. And it's actually pretty cool how he's got enough articulation where you can actually mimic one of his signature actions from the show. And in both modes, it works great because, while it doesn't have all too much paint, it is very well scaled to the figure and has a lot of detail, where this does look like it's about the same size or same scale as the prop in the show is to the suit actor. So overall, that actually works out quite well. For comparison, rather than comparing Infinity Style to all of his other forms, I'm just going to compare him to Flame Style and Flame Dragon, just to kind of show his evolution. So, starting with Flame, you can see that he does carry some of the elements of Flame Style, or basically of the styles. You can see that he does have that kind of gems basically laid into the chest. And then he's also got kind of a similar design within the anklets and the cuffs. And the cape piece is a lot similar to, well, it's more similar to that of his base styles than to that of his dragon forms. That being said, there definitely is a noticeable difference. And so that's where he kind of incorporates some elements of the dragon forms, where though he has the gems more inlaid on the chest, they are done across the chest rather than down. And you can see that the biggest difference between this and any of the other forms is just the way that the ring design of the head works. Whereas with the rest of the forms, it had the gemstone on the front. With Infinity, the gemstone is on the front, but then it continues up onto the top. It's where he doesn't have this black part, which is basically meant to represent kind of an empty space. And you can see that the dragon elements have basically been condensed down to here, instead of having the dragon design running throughout. What does kind of carry over is the silver used for the shin guards. Then the shin guards are then advanced by the gauntlets. So with that, you can really see that the figures definitely did kind of advance, especially in terms of the detail and articulation, to where you've got a very basic design with the regular styles, and then a little bit more of an advanced one, a little bit more colorful one with the dragon forms. Then Infinity really just kind of ups the ante by mixing together the good design aspects of both, and then kind of making up for where they lack. Especially in the shoulders, where with these they both had these kind of connected shoulders where they would bend inward like this and break up the design. But for Infinity style, because the shoulder pad is actually attached to the shoulder, it actually helps out. And it's also well done, because what they could have done was basically to have this be attached to the body so that he wouldn't have been able to move his arm around very much. But instead, they cleverly attached it to the shoulder, so that wasn't a problem. So it is quite a nice evolution from his first form to his final form. So overall, Kamen Wizard Infinity Style is a fantastic figure and a great way to finish off the Wizard Action Please series. It takes the design aspects from the past figures that were good and takes those that were bad, and basically takes those into consideration and makes a superior figure to them. And in my opinion, this is the closest that the Bandai Kamen gimmick figures have gone to the quality of SH-Figuarts. The paint is superb, the details are fantastic, and the gimmick is non-intrusive because it's a button on the chest that's well integrated, and it actually enhances the figure because with the way it's designed, you can see the color even when it's not illuminated, and when it is, it just makes that color pop, unlike with the original styles where, for those, the default faces were a bit too dark, and then when they were illuminated, they were a little bit too bright. But with this, you've got a nice balance in both its non-illuminated and lit up states. So, honestly, even though the SH-Figuarts version of Kamen Wizard Infinity Style also kind of improves upon the past releases, which were flawed, I would still recommend this figure, especially if you're collecting the Wizard Action Please series, because once again, this does fit in a lot better with those, and it really does have all the details and features it needs. So you really can't go wrong in terms of your figures for Wizard Infinity Style. So as for next time, it's not exactly going to be a review. The next video will actually be a vlog, and then after that is something, well, something new and something unique that I've kind of come up with in my head. And it's something new I'd like to try. It's something that I think you guys will enjoy, and something that basically takes advantage of what I'm good at within my reviewing style. And it'll kind of separate my reviews from kind of the extra stuff that had been holding them back. So, to find out what that is, stay tuned for next time. And for now, if you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, or share it. And you can check me out on Facebook at facebook.com/KRX50. And for now, this is KRX50, writing off.